Are you ever in the mood to just, loudly blast some music? Just enjoy your favorite song really loudly for everyone to hear. And of course, most people, when they want others to listen to whatever they're listening to, either voluntarily or not, they go with speakers. However, most speakers are rather expensive if you want some really good high quality stuff. And the thing with audio equipment is that once you hear some really good audio, it's kind of hard to go back. But then a couple of years ago, Razer comes to the scene and announces their Razer Nommo speakers, which are some competitively priced products, especially for Razer, who have a reputation of having really overpriced bad products. And that is pretty much the response I got whenever I asked people about getting these speakers. Most people were saying that they're just absolutely awful, that Razer make awful speakers, and that I should never get them. However, the issue is that the internet is full of audiophiles, people who not settle for anything below perfection, and for most of us who can't afford $10,000 even more expensive equipment, we have to settle for something. So imagine my not surprise when I discovered that they were all wrong, because these speakers are actually really good, even for the price. So whether you're someone new looking to get these speakers, or you're one of the aforementioned audiophiles, this video is for you. So once and for all, it's out there that these speakers are actually really good. At least in most cases. Let us begin, shall we? So, the Razer Nommo speakers are a stereo set that will cost you, well, around $100 to $150 depending on what kind of price you're getting. So definitely pretty cheap for a pair of good speakers. And of course, one of the main things that makes them stand out is the look. And yeah, I have to agree, they do kind of look like something at the hair salon, but they also really look good. They match pretty much any kind of gamery setup, they don't look too over the top, and the whole matte black finish, which is the Razer logo shining on the side, makes them look really sleek and modern and just incredible. Yes, they are pretty big, but thankfully not ugly. So thankfully they're not only big, but also hard to hide from view. You get a right speaker and a left speaker as expected, but you don't get any subwoofer with this set. All the bass is handled in-house by the two speakers. You do get one of the better versions, the Razer Nommo Pro. However, that thing is ridiculously more expensive, but of course comes with a lot of better stuff like THX certification, for example. There's also a in-between version, the Razer Nommo Chroma, which are basically the same as these, but just have RGB lighting. And seeing how more it costs just to get RGB lighting, unless you really want it, just go with the normal version, unless you just really have the money to spare and you really needed RGB. Now, all the important stuff, including the controls and inputs and outputs, is handled on the right speaker. On the bass, you have yourself a volume knob and a bass knob. And a nice touch about a volume knob is that there is this tiny bit of like resistance and click whenever you turn it enough for the speaker to actually be on, which is great because then you actually know when it is on. And then for all you bass heads out there, there's the bass knob. Now, I'll get into the bass of these speakers in a while, but yeah, it's there, and the fact that you can easily adjust the amount of bass is great. And then once we turn our hairstyle accessory around, we get to see all the inputs and outputs. We of course have power, main input, auxiliary input, and even a headphone jack if you really need one. See Apple, even speakers have them before your phones now. However, round bank is also where we find my first main issue with these speakers, and that is this cable. This black thing. It's a cable, and it's annoying. Why? Well, it connects both the speakers together, of course, something you want. However, it's fully integrated into the speakers, which means you can't take it out and you can't put it back in. Why is it a bad thing? Well, if you pull on the wire just a bit too much, then, well, it's game over, man. It's game over. You lose your speakers. Well, your right speaker would still work, so you just end up with mono sound, as if you're back in the 1990s. So if you're setting them up for your first time and you pull them apart a bit too harshly, then your speakers might stop working. Now, what helps it is that the cable is rather long, but that comes with its own issues like it getting tangled, especially if you have a jungle of cables like I do. Yeah, don't look at it too much or you might start crying. So even though it's unlikely, I'd have still preferred it if you could just plug in a normal audio cable instead of just having just one proprietary cable, which if anything happens to it, you'll just be left with a pair of useless speakers. Now let's get on to the sound quality, and make sure to have your right speaker nearby because you're going to be turning those knobs quite a bit. I tested it both with just running through the motherboard, which is probably how most of you will run it, and also how I run it via a sound card, which is a lot better. And seeing how, while these speakers may not have the excellent range and excellent sound quality of, say, something more expensive, if you want a upgrade to it on the cheap, then I'd recommend maybe going for a sound card, even a used one. Like, I got my used Sound Blaster Z for around $30, and it has greatly improved the audio of both my normal headset and also of these speakers. So if you have some money spare for that kind of thing, it could be worth it if these speakers on their own aren't enough for you. Because yeah, even though they're good, there's still only like what, $150 speakers or so they won't definitely be amazing, so sound card can help there. But yeah, apart from that, the quality is amazing. It has a frequency response of somewhere between 50 to 20,000 Hz. So that means that even though the highs are okay, the bass is pretty bad. So you may want to adjust exactly how much bass you have in your EQ. It rarely goes into just this mindless vibration territories. However, there is one major thing we need to talk about here. Play a song and play on the speakers, you may notice that the sound quality is pretty bad, with sounding very tinny, exaggerated, and the bass being all over the place. If you simply turn down the volume of your source, so example, just turn down the volume that the video is being played on YouTube, and then turn up the volume on the speakers themselves, then all of a sudden you get fantastic audio quality. So if your audio is sounding weird, turn the volume down and up on the speakers. Now that does also mean that the speakers aren't really super loud, because even on the max volume on the knob, and with the volume greatly decreased to somewhere around, I would say 10% to 5% at most on the source, but definitely like enough for them to be audible in most places in a room this size. So if you're getting these speakers, definitely do that if you actually want good audio, because otherwise it will be pretty bad. And once you have everything set up correctly like that, they are amazing. So they definitely take a bit of, you know, messing around to really get the great audio quality out of it, but once you do get it, it is really spectacular. So if you ever get told by an audiophile that these speakers are rubbish, then maybe just link them to this video, because they really are amazing. Just to give an example of what these people are like, I recently ran into two who thought that my GSP 600 headset, which is like what, $200, they thought it was like bad. So it kind of just goes to show what kind of high standards they have. And even for high standards, and I wouldn't really say I have super high standards, but I still do enjoy very crisp and clean audio, I still think these are absolutely amazing. And you probably won't find speakers as good as this at that price. So if you do have the money and you do want some speakers, go for them. And then if you want another upgrade down the line, then maybe you can just have a sound card to give them an extra boost, or maybe even some kind of amp and DAC combo. So I would say that is like the perfect roadmap for you, but if you're someone who just can't afford a better solution. Get these for now, and then just boost the sound with something later. And I can't wait to see what the comments are like on this video, but maybe I'm just destined to annoy audiophiles, seeing how everything I do seems to be annoying them, even down to the EQ profile I use for pretty much everything. So, but let me know what you think of these speakers. Let me know if this review made you want to buy them. Just let me know in general what you think of them, and let me know what kind of products you want me to review in the future. And hey, if you want to support this channel to allow me to review more awesome products, then I highly recommend checking out my Patreon, which is down in the video description below, as even $1 a month is a long way, helping me make way better videos. Down there you also find my Discord if you want to talk to me about this or whatever else really. If you have any other questions about the speakers, ask away there or in the comments here. So I guess that's really it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone, goodbye.